But right now, let's get you to North Carolina. The former president in Greenville, after that stop in the Asheville area earlier in the day. Of course, so much hurricane damage. And speaking of Asheville, News Nation's Mills Hayes is there, joins us now ahead of this second Trump event. But what's been the message from the former president in North Carolina today, Mills?
Hey, Connell. Well, former President Donald Trump was here in Swannanoa, a community hard hit by Helene. It's actually just outside of Asheville, and he spoke with first responders, small business owners who lost everything, and he praised the people who are working around the clock, but he did criticize FEMA once again. Now, we did talk to some of his supporters today, and they say that they were very grateful that he was here because they don't want to be forgotten. And as I mentioned, he was criticizing FEMA. He says that under his administration, if he's elected, come January 20th, there will be a new cruise in town to come and help these people. He did start off his remarks in a somber tone, really trying to connect with the people here who have lost everything. And we asked him what he plans to focus on in the next 2 weeks in the final stretch of the campaign. He says he's planning to work around the clock, just like those first responders and helpers here in North Carolina.
We're workers. I don't know if it's the best thing. We didn't have to be. A lot of them didn't have to be. I didn't have to be. I could have been on a beautiful beach, but I'd much rather be right here with you because we're going to turn the country around. I have no days off, so I'll be going into the 60s or 70s in terms of no days off. I don't want a day off. We have to win. We have to win. We have to save our country, and we have to just make America great again. That's the message.
And FEMA did have to move locations in another part of North Carolina because of threats made against them. And there was one reporter who asked Donald Trump today if he felt like the criticism that he was giving FEMA was helpful. And Trump said that he and everyone is entitled to criticize people when they're not doing the best job. Connell?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100% with that, honestly. I feel like if they're not doing as good as a job that they could be doing, why not say how you guys feel about FEMA? If y'all need more funds in FEMA, how come you can't talk about if FEMA needs more funds or not? I mean, these people are in an emergency situation looking for the government to help, and they're not helping to the extent that they could possibly help. And it's because they don't have the funds. They don't have the funds. That department does not have the amount of funds that it needs to accomplish what's going on here in Ashton. It's just the truth. Sorry, Asheville. I said Ashton, my bad. North Carolina. And it's just the truth. It's going to take billions of dollars to clean up all of this and rebuild all of it. And people just want to know that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Even though they lost everything, they don't have anything now. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel? Especially for those that really don't have nothing now. They probably had their whole life savings in their house. You know, they lost their whole entire house, their car. Are these people, they probably didn't have flood insurance because, you know, nobody's expecting a natural disaster like this to happen. Now they're going to make all these houses have flood insurance. Or the insurance is not going to just want to even cover them in the first place because they never know. They never know. These people want a sense of knowing something good is going to come out of this at the end of it. And I don't know if Trump is going to be that guy to make it happen. I don't think he will be, honestly. I don't think Kamala will be either. This is going to take the everyday citizens working together with carpenters, contractors, the government, getting there and building their pace, their city and town back together, house by house, wood by wood. That's the only way this is gonna happen, man. Honestly, that's the only way. It's a natural disaster.
I think the issue there is not criticism, but misinformation, which we're going to get into with our panel in a moment. I am curious, before we let you go, though, Mills, about the voters in North Carolina. With all the damage, we could see some of it behind you. We wondered about whether people would be able to get out to vote, whether there'd be any impact on enthusiasm for the election in such a key state. What are you seeing down there?
Well, we saw long lines at the early voting sites on Thursday, and that's when it kicked off. And so far, more than 1 million people have voted here in North Carolina. That's about 13% of the registered voters here in North Carolina. And former President Donald Trump did talk about that today. He said he wants people to come out and vote, but he said he'd be happy if about 50% of the people in Western North Carolina showed up to the polls, because voting is kind of a second priority for those people, because many of them have lost their homes, their livelihoods. And so he says he'll be happy with about a 50% show because he just wants those people to focus on rebuilding right now. And he also talked a lot about how he wanted to reach out to the community there, because it is a little bit more difficult for them to vote. So many people have lost their IDs, but here in North Carolina, people are able to fill out an exception form if they lost their ID in the hurricane, so they are still able to vote. It's just a little bit of a different process this year, Connell.
Yep, yeah, you would think. All right, Mills, thank you. Mills Hayes, live, that hard-hit Asheville area, North Carolina.
Thanks for watching.
I don't even, respectfully, I don't even know if I would care much to vote if that happened to me. I'll be honest with you. I can understand why people would want to stay home. If you really love Trump, and you really want to see, or if you really want to see Kamala Harris in there, then I get it. But I don't know if a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, if this happened to me, I'm not voting. Forget that. I don't care that much, man. Y'all, either way, either if Trump wins or loses, or if Kamala wins or loses, my life goes on. I hope y'all life goes on too, honestly. I hope you don't feel regret. I hope you don't feel anger. I hope you don't feel like you want to kill somebody. Life goes on. You go try again in the next 4 years and see what happens. That's all we can do. You don't go take your anger out now and have a mental relapse and go shooting up a grocery store just because you're in your feelings and you let a demon take over your mind. Nah. Life goes on. Life goes on, man. Let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. Was this just a political move, or is he actually going to help what's going on down in Asheville? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I'd like to know y'all thoughts, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on y'all way out. Until next time, it's your boy Dgotsauce. Peace.